ESPN690, joined by one of the fastest rising stars, I feel like, right now in the sport of professional wrestling, Will Hobbs, aka Powerhouse Hobbs. Dude, how we doing, man?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Thanks for taking some time to chat with us a little bit. Your story, man, in terms of your rise in AEW, it's been a fast rise, but also an interesting one. You know, you're a guy who got to start with AEW Dark, then kind of made your name a little bit in that casino battle royal. But I always find it interesting from the fact that, like, you weren't under a contract at the time. You know, you kind of had to earn that right. You earned it through the indies. What kind of pressure is that like going out to wrestle under the bright lights, knowing, well, you're not under contract quite yet, and you kind of got to make a name for yourself?
It was a lot of pressure, but you know, I knew deep down, like, not only did I deserve to be here, I need to be here, and I want to be here. So that was, you know, a lot of motivation right there. Plus, you know, I have my kids as motivation. Like I refuse to, no matter what I do, I refuse to go home and look at them and fail. So I had no choice. You know, I had no choice but to grasp everything by the throat and make it mine.
Well, and you mentioned your kids as well. I mean, you know, professional wrestling is hard enough as it is. And then have a family on top of that with 3 kids. How do you find that balance? How do you find that balance to try to pursue a dream and make that right, and also try to be a father figure for your kids as well?
First and foremost, they come first. And then, you know, once they're down, doing their thing, whether they're asleep or at school, that's when dad has to do his thing. That's when all the grinding, you know, it starts. And, you know, it just I find it pretty easy. So I like Arn Anderson gave me some great advice. He told me once, he pulled me aside. He was like, son, when you come off the road and you go home, you're super dad. And that doesn't necessarily mean I have to buy them things. It's just, hey, we're going to go out and do whatever y'all want to do. Let's play. Let's get dirty in the mud. And let's go to the trampoline house. Whatever y'all want to do, we do it. So.
You know, speaking of a legend like Arn Anderson, another legend, August 20th, a guy by the name of CM Punk comes back to AEW. And at the promo in Chicago, and he talks about one of the reasons why he came back was the new talent that he was excited to. A short time after, he has his first match, and it's against you. How did that come into play? Where does that rank in terms of your career, you know, and just being justified? And what was that experience like to work with CM Punk?
So I before he came to AEW, he put out a tweet of top 5 young talent that he's watching, and my name was in there. And I was like, okay, all right. Somebody's taking a little looky here at me. Okay. And as far as, you know, me finding out that I will be working against Punk, like that's up there. You know, that's probably either 1 or 2. And just the fact that match meant so much to me, and he knew it, being it was about a month after my mother passed away. So he knew how special that was. And I can't thank him enough for what he's done for me, and you know, and how much he's helped my career. Like, it's I don't care what anybody said, that's my dude. And you know, I hope to have many more battles with him. Like it, you know.
No. Fortunately, I've been able to chat with him a couple of times. I met him in person, and a very genuine and a very cool dude. So I agree with you there. You know, you mentioned, you know, getting through some tough times, obviously, in your life, and you know, the world of professional wrestling. People can take it different ways. You know, some people can have a character per se, and some people can kind of just live out their truth and kind of speak who they are. I feel like when you make that walk down that ramp and get in the ring, we're not really seeing Powerhouse Hobbs, this character that you created. We're more seeing yourself. Would you say that's pretty true? And if that's the case, how refreshing is that to know that, hey, this is who I am, and people seem to gravitate towards that?
You know, AEW is a place where I can be myself. And when I walk down that aisle, that's not Powerhouse Hobbs, that's Will Hobbs. You know, that's 100% totally me. Um, the facials, I've been doing that since I was a kid in grade school. The way I talk smack, I was doing that when I was in grade school, and I still do it. And everything you see in the ring, it's 100% me. Um, there's a time I turn it up, and there's a time I tone it down a little bit. So, but that's all me, man.
Well, then I got to ask you, the fur coat and the overalls in the
Yeah.
middle of winter. Was that you? Was
Yeah,
that your?
that was some pimp Bay Area stuff right there, man. Like, come on now. I grew up in the era where I saw people walking down the street in fur coats.
Yeah, yeah.
One of my favorite things growing up. I remember being in Memphis watching Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and it was 102 degrees, and my man Reggie B. Fine had on a fur coat. So. But to be honest with you, Tony Khan came up to me and was like, Willie, I was like, I think you need a fur coat. And I was like, okay, well, let's do it. And it took off. Like I didn't realize how much it was gonna take off. I was like, okay, I can dig this. Plus I got my little Nino Brown on wearing the fur coat. So I was with it.
Well, no, it seems to be working for you. Is that something that you're going to keep on, in the future of rocking that thing? Because people seem like that, man. I mean, we got summer coming up eventually. I'm just saying.
People like it. People like it. I may, I'm kind of. Let me give you a little insight, give you a little scoop. I may be working on a fur vest or something like that with a hood, or something. I'm gonna do something a little different for summertime.
I like it, man. I like it. So, obviously with professional wrestling, you can teach a lot of things, but you can't teach athleticism. You can't teach size. You obviously have both of those things. Were you always just kind of growing up? Were you like the biggest kid on the block? And like, were you playing other sports like football? I mean, I see you as a defensive tackle, man. Like, if you were in AEW, I feel like you'd be a first round pick right now, the next Aaron Donald, if you will. Were sports always a big part of your life?
Sports was always a big part of my life. My grandparents, they didn't want us hanging around the house, so we had to play sports. When we did football, basketball, baseball, whatever was available in the neighborhood or was available at Martin Luther King Park, we were there. No, I wasn't always a big kid growing up. I graduated high school. I think I was maybe 142, 150 pounds growing up. And
Wow.
I tell people I come from a line of big bone, thick people, and genetics took over. So I just, it finally caught up to me. So.
Well, and obviously, trying to maintain that size also has to be in the weight room and, and how you diet. So like, what is that process like? Because once again, I mean, having 3 kids, it's about finding that balance. So like, what do your days usually look like then in terms of trying to maintain your physique and making sure you're staying on top of it?
So, I finally got hip to it. I had to actually hire a personal trainer and nutritionist to kind of keep me going. First thing in the morning, I have my first meal, eat breakfast with my kids while, getting them ready for school, haul them off, and then it's off to the gym and then do whatever I need to do in between there. Just I got a set schedule. My favorite quote is, when I'm running late or the kids are running behind, it's like, hey, we gotta get on the car. We got in the car. We gotta be on the I-10 by 10. We gotta move it. We gotta hustle up. Like they know the routine. I know my routine. We just got to get it going.
I think you being a member of Team Taz has been instrumental so far in your career because you're made up of a collective of guys that offer different things, right? But like you guys seem to gel and mesh very well. I mean, you and Ricky Starks, it seems like you guys are great friends, which makes for great chemistry on the camera. Like what has that experience been like with Team Taz and working with Ricky especially?
I tell everybody like being in Team Taz is like pot of gumbo. You got different things in it, but once it marinates and it's cooked, everything comes together. That's what we are. Working with Ricky is fun. Like he knows me very well. He knows what I'm thinking sometimes. I know what he's thinking. And as you can see it on TV, that's how we act on TV is how we act like weekly. Anytime we're together, that's just us. And being a part of Team Taz is great. I have nothing bad to say, learning under Taz is awesome, which you look at Taz's career, you look how much of a assassin and killer and his intensity in the ring. And that's
Mhm.
what I try to emulate because I have the number one guy teaching me that.
March 6th, AEW Face of the Revolution ladder match. That's the big title that comes with that, the Face of the Revolution,
Mm-hmm.
That being a ladder match. You're a big ass dude. How do you feel about ladder matches? How do you feel about this opportunity, and what can we expect?
Man, I ain't afraid of heights. Like I ain't afraid of heights. I used to climb the side of the chimney on my grandma's house and jump off the roof. Like I'm not afraid of no heights. Like climbing a ladder, I'm with it. I feel great about this match. I feel the odds are my favorite or in my favor, and I have no problem throwing people around, climbing that ladder. I'm gonna make it do what it do. So
I got one last question for you, though, man. Everyone wants to call you the next big thing, right? Your rise has been fast, and it's been deserved. What is the next year for Powerhouse Hobbs look like now? Because like you can keep on saying you're the next big thing, you're the next big thing, but eventually you got to be that big thing. So where do you expect to see yourself? Let's just say from a year from now, what are you going to be doing with AEW?
I'm going to be holding some type of gold.
Hmm.
And it's going to be very hard for someone to take it away from me because I'm not all for people taking things from me. So it's going to be a little bit of a problem. Someone trying to take whatever I have. I'm the baby of the family. I'm spoiled. I'm stingy. At times I'm greedy. So it's not going to be a good thing. But a year from now, I will be headlining things, and I will be the champion. I'll hold some type of gold in AEW.
Powerhouse Hobbs, man. I appreciate your time.
Appreciate you.